What is up, guys? Welcome to some Battlefield Hardline. So after EA's E3 conference, where they kind of Steve Jobs, Apple style announced the beta, you can get it now. I, like many other people, frantically went to Origin and signed up for the beta, and luckily got in, and after a few restarts of Origin, I was up and running. So at this point in time, I think I have about 12-ish hours in the game. It's about 2.5 days through the beta now. And I guess I should preface this by saying I haven't watched anybody else's videos, because I find that if maybe there was a flaw or something that somebody mentioned in a video, then I'm subconsciously thinking about that as well, and I don't want my opinion to be skewed purely based on something I heard somebody else say that I maybe wouldn't have noticed otherwise, you know, because I think I've noticed in other games, if I watch some reviews on it before I play it, I instantly notice whatever they mentioned was bad. And if I hadn't watched the video, maybe I wouldn't have noticed it at all. I don't know. I'm trying it, and I think it will hopefully keep my review of the game a little bit more fresh, and maybe I won't bring up some of the same things that other people have. So anyway, this is a clean slate. I highly suggest you guys do the same thing. So if you do pick up the beta, I would suggest putting a decent amount of hours before you go in and watching review videos. I just want to put that at the front of this video. I know that's a really long intro, but anyway, let's get into the game. Now, right off the bat, I think we should get the obvious out of the way. Is it a copy-paste job? I think that's really its biggest problem that it's having. People were so hype over Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3 when that beta came out, because it was so different. And you know, Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4, people are like, okay, this is Battlefield 3.5. Hopefully they're fixing things. And this game is just Battlefield 4 again, with different game modes, pretty much. It's almost like they had an idea for a new game, and then instead of releasing it on a new engine or a new, you know, under a new name or a new franchise, they were like, hey, we'll just use the Battlefield engine, we'll use the Battlefield name, and we'll implement all of our ideas. So it kind of, I think, is putting a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, because it does look so similar to BF4, and, you know, it plays just like BF4. I mean, you couldn't blame somebody for just seeing some gameplay footage and thinking that this was the next DLC for Battlefield 4, or the next map pack, or something like that. So I do understand where a lot of the criticism is coming from. I think they could have done a little bit better job, but I will say it is in beta, like we know, and it is many months until the game releases. Now, think back to the Battlefield 4 beta. That was like no time at all. That was a promotion more than anything. The Battlefield 4 beta was just like, hey, look at me, I want to take the spotlight for now, and then you're going to pre-order me, and it got a lot of people, myself included. Where this beta is actually coming out with enough time for things to be tweaked, you know, game textures, guns, gun models, skins, you know, skins as in gun camos. I'm used to Counter-Strike. Anyway, it sounds, all that kind of stuff. There's still time, and even, you know, major gameplay mechanics, there's still time to tweak that kind of stuff. Whereas the Battlefield 4 beta was like, here's basically what the game is. Thanks for the input, but we're not actually going to change anything. So that's why I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Sure, it is a copy-paste job on the surface, but I think the way the game plays and the game modes are substantially different. Alrighty, now that we have all of the copy-paste, EA's greedy blah 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 crap out of the way, let's actually talk about the game. So, starting off with the map. This map actually reminds me quite a bit of Siege of Shanghai, which is interesting, seeing as Battlefield 4's beta map was actually Siege of Shanghai. But we do know that not very many other maps in Battlefield 4 actually played like Shanghai, so I'm really curious to see what they're going to bring to the table. I mean, obviously these urban environments would lend itself more to bank robberies, but I'm really hoping for some different heists and some really cool stuff. That this is really a wide open, you know, drawing board that they have, and there's a lot of potential I see. It's not just, you know, big open battlefields like we're used to in, you know, Battlefield. It's actually a lot of different places that we can go, and I'm really curious, like I said. As far as the map actually plays, though, I think it works great for the game modes that are in it. There's a few tweaks I would do in the game mode of Heist. The The timers are a little bit long, and the kind of the positioning of the trucks, I think, could be a little bit different. But all in all, I'm really having a lot of fun with that game mode, and the map, like I said, does suit it well. Unfortunately, they only used like one corner of the map in that game mode. I would like to see maybe using a little bit more of it. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but I definitely think that game mode has potential. I think the bomb timers maybe should be a little bit shorter because it is really camper friendly. Because there's no real consequence to the defending team for letting them set the bombs. You can still just camp them out because they have to run in front of you with the package to get to their escape vehicle. So, maybe some tweaks there. We'll see what they decide to do. Now, Blood Money is mainly what I've been playing. It's the other game mode. And the map, it does have some good symmetry to it, and I think you really need that when it comes to Blood Money because of the base style mechanic and the money pile that needs to be in the middle, basically. That really makes the maps have to be linear in that sense, which to me is actually a good thing. I prefer linear maps and being equal on both sides because, you know, Battlefield maps are generally wide open and kind of all kinds of crazy stuff can happen, and a lot of times it can make the game unbalanced purely for an art style. If you go back and think of games like Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, all the Halos, they're very symmetrical and the maps played very fairly. So I personally like that style. I know it can get kind of bland, but when it comes down to gameplay, which I think is more important than art style, I think it works better that way. Now, onto the vehicles. As you can see in the background, flying the chopper a little bit. I really like how they have tweaked the chopper into basically a attack chopper and a scout chopper in one, where we don't have guys repairing all the time, so it makes the damage that you're taking in the chopper a little bit more serious. You can't just have some guy there with the repair torch all the time. You actually have to be a little bit more tactical, and the miniguns, the LMG guns, I should say, on the chopper aren't very powerful against infantry. The infantry is really left up to the gunners, where the vehicles can really get taken down quickly with the main cannons on the chopper. So I'm really curious to see what other air vehicles they have in store for us, but I really like what they've done, like I said, and I think it is a step in the right direction as far as keeping the vehicles fair and balanced and not too overpowered. Same with like the spawn truck. I really like that mechanic. It's very key and important, especially in games like Blood Money, to have a spawn point maybe behind the enemy team's base. That really works well from what I can tell. And the big kind of machine gun mounted truck, I really like that thing as well. But it's still not impossible to take down like a tank is in Battlefield. So it makes the game modes a much faster paced from what I can tell, and a lot more infantry based compared to some of the other game modes that I've seen Battlefield come out with before. You know, that's why I really like Domination in Battlefield 4, but unfortunately, you know, the connections on that game mixed with close quarters combat really just didn't sit well. And that's kind of leads me to my next point. Is this game copy-pasting the netcode and connections? So I don't know, but it feels better to me. I haven't looked up what tick rate the servers are actually running at, but I've had quite a few less rubber banding moments. I'm not sure if that's due to a lower player count as well. I'm really enjoying it from that aspect, not being like, oh my gosh, what just killed me there. It's certainly much less frustrating. Next thing I'll mention is the weapons. They pretty much feel just like Battlefield 4 to me. I'm not sure if they're a little bit harder to control or if I just don't have all the attachments unlocked. I think that's my problem. Is I'm used to like my M416 in Battlefield 4 with my potato grip that's just a laser beam. When coming over to this game, I don't have everything unlocked, so we'll see how that plays out. But I do like the gunplay so far. It seems to work well, and it's not just, you know, one gun that everybody's using as of right now, but we'll see what happens with that. I do like how they implemented, you know, small arms fire doing damage to vehicles. I feel like it's a little bit much, you know, like a car in decent range can take like 1 point of health from one bullet, which seems a little bit high because you can empty a magazine or you can actually bust out an RPG and make an actually like tough shot, which I find to be a little unbalanced there, but we'll see how they tweak that. I know some vehicles have more armor than others, but just up against like the sports car and a machine gun, that thing can get taken down with a couple people and a couple magazines, which I know it's a little bit more realistic, but it makes getaways and stuff in game modes like Heist a little bit tougher. And I don't know, we'll see what happens with that. So if you click that button at the beginning, the too long didn't watch, here are my 2 cents. The game is a lot of fun. The game modes that they brought to the table are awesome. I think the vehicle mechanics are really working well. The guns are fun. They're pretty much the same as Battlefield 4. The connections feel great to me so far. I'm not sure what the tick rate is on the servers, but we'll see. And I know it's frustrating that they released it underneath the Battlefield name, but I think all in all, once we get over that fact and just look at the game as a core standalone game, just take away the Battlefield name, I think that's a really fun game. And we'll see what happens after the beta. You know, they do have time to still tweak things. There is potential that they're going to reskin some stuff. Always give them the benefit of the doubt until a full release is actually out. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave any comments or suggestions about what you think they could do to make the game better down below. Anyways, guys, I will talk to you later.